During takeoff and landing, which are the most dangerous parts of a flight, flight attendants sit in their jump seats, facing the passengers. They are strapped in with a shoulder harness and place their hands flat under their thighs, palms facing up. There are several reasons for putting their hands there. First, it stops them from automatically pushing against something when there is a crash, which is what people naturally do, but which puts a lot of force on the wrists and arms and can break them. Second, it keeps their arms still, since flailing arms can also cause injury. Third, it keeps their hands right next to the harness buckle, so that if the cabin is dark, smoky, and disorientated, they can quickly find and undo the buckle without having to search for it. But the way they position their legs is just as carefully thought out. Their feet are flat on the floor, with their ankles pulled back slightly, so they are behind their knees. Aviation safety researchers noticed a troubling pattern in data on who survives crashes. Many passengers came through the initial impact completely unharmed, but were later found dead in the wreckage. The crash itself had not killed them. They had died in the fire that broke out afterward, because their lower legs had been badly broken and they could not move. This happens because when a plane stops very suddenly, the force pushes the lower leg forward and downward. If the feet are stretched out or the ankles are not supported, the brakes that result are bad enough to trap a person in their seat, while the cabin fills with smoke. Pulling the feet back puts the leg at an angle that spreads that force more safely through the body. Unlike with the flight attendants, where they have to remain in this position at all times, for passengers, the advice depends on two different situations. During a normal takeoff and landing where nothing is wrong, the guidance is straightforward. Seatbelt fastened, seat back upright, and feet flat on the floor. But there is no specific instruction for where to put your hands. In an actual emergency, passengers are told to get into the full brace position, which means bending your upper body forward over your knees, putting your head down, and placing your hands one on top of the other over the back of your head to protect it. The difference between the flight attendant's fixed position and the passenger's different positions based on the situation comes down to their roles. A flight attendant cannot have two different modes, one for normal situations and one for emergencies, because their job requires them to react instantly the moment something goes wrong. Taking too long to switch from a relaxed position to a protective one could waste precious seconds. So they stay in the full protective position during every single takeoff and landing, whether anything is wrong or not, because their role means they need to already be ready when an emergency happens. Passengers do not have that same responsibility. They are not expected to lead an evacuation, operate the doors, or make quick decisions under pressure, so they are given a more relaxed default position for normal flights and are only asked to move into the full protective position when an emergency is announced. The difference in emergency positions, for flight attendants still seated upright and for passengers positioned forward, has a good reason. Flight attendants sit upright during impact instead of folding forward over their knees, because their shoulder harness already does the same job that the brace position does for passengers. The forward fold that passengers are taught is meant to stop the upper body from lurching violently forward on impact. But the shoulder harness takes that force directly, which means the fold is not needed for the crew. The hand position during emergencies follows the same idea but adds another layer to it. Passengers put both hands over the back of their head because protecting their head is the only thing they need to do in that moment. Flight attendants keep their hands tucked under their thighs instead, not because protecting their head matters less to them, but because their hands have work to do the moment the plane stops. They need to undo their harness, check a smoke-filled cabin, shout instructions, and get emergency exits open, sometimes within seconds of coming to a stop. Click the video on your screen right now and I'll explain another everyday mystery you've wondered about your whole life but never thought to look up.